Yo, what's up, everybody? I got everybody in here at the same time. IG, FB, Wisdom app, YouTube. Hey, listen, it's Jarvis TV, and I'm so excited to have everybody on here with me tonight. Tonight, I am going a little bit earlier than normal, and I am excited. I'm just so excited to be here with everybody. I'm excited to be on here with you. Tonight's topic, tonight's topic is, are you ready? Are you ready? Tonight's topic. Tonight's topic is finding your solutions inside of the problem. Finding the solution inside of the problem. That's tonight's topic. So, with that being tonight's topic, I hope that you're ready to have a great conversation. I'm going to ask you some questions. I'm going to challenge what you think a little bit, and I hope that you really you really grab hold of what it is that we got going on tonight. Yeah, that you really grab a hold of what we got going on tonight. Now it looks like for some reason there's like some on my end some glitchiness that's going on with YouTube and Facebook. So I apologize. I don't know if what that is, but hopefully it'll correct itself. But I will tell you this: over here on IG, you will only be able to be with us for part of the conversation. So when we drop from the conversation, you are going to have to go over to Facebook or YouTube, and you can find me on YouTube at Jarvis Henderson TV, or you can find me on Facebook at the original Jarvis. All right. So I look forward to having this conversation with you guys. I just want to give you a heads up on that. If somebody could please over on Instagram put in to text impact to 386 200 1394, and I will definitely pull that up on the screen over here for everybody else that's on YouTube and Facebook. I want to get all of the little stuff out of the way, the maintenance things out of the way, man. And y'all, man, y'all bear with me tonight, man. I've had like this persisting headache today. I think I slept wrong last night, and my head is hurting. I feel like I'm sweating. I've been working out, been trying to get myself together, you know what I'm saying? But it happens. Hey, it happens, and I'm not gonna linger on it. Like I said, finding the solution inside the problem. Funny thing, and this is how we're gonna start this off, is I'm gonna tell you a story about exactly what happened to me. So I was all prepped and ready to go, getting myself together. I'm like, yo, I'm about to get on here and we're about to make this happen. I took a shower and everything for y'all. I'm good, man. I'm ready. Let's get it. And I come to log in to get myself on, and my cameras don't work. Nothing's working. Like it's like nothing's working. And I gotta figure out, I gotta ask myself, okay, what are you going to do? It's crazy enough. Tonight's topic is finding the solution inside of the problem. Well, now you have the problem. What's going to be the solution? So what I did is I just sat, I looked at everything that was happening. I looked at everything that was going on, and I asked myself, I said, okay, what are you going to do? You can just like shut everything down and just say, hey, we're not going to meet tonight. But that's not possible because you gave a commitment. See, I'm a man of my word. I swear to my own hurt. I gave a commitment. The commitment was this, that we were going to have a live every day for 90 days straight. We are only on day 26. So I got some time left with you all. And these, I don't know about you, but these have been some great topics, quite honestly. I think they've been amazing topics. That's me being biased, or it's me going off of everything that you guys have told me. So with that, the thought process behind it is that I didn't want to quit. I didn't want to give up. And I laughed. I absolutely laughed because I'm like, yo, this is exactly what I'm talking about tonight. This is exactly what I got to do. I have to find the solution inside of the problem. So I sat still and just kind of thought about it. And I was like, well, you know what? Worst case scenario, we start a little late, but let me go ahead and hit the reset button. So I restarted my computer, refreshed everything, and now everything seems to be working well. Everything except for the internet for some reason. I don't know why the internet is acting crazy, but it's acting a little crazy. And we still gonna continue on. Like I can't let, and it's a small thing to a giant. You know what I'm saying? It's a small thing to a giant. You can't let these things affect you, but they're going to happen no matter what. Again, I'm excited because I know that Impact Rally is coming up. I'm excited because I know the impact that's already being done in people's lives. You guys have been sharing it with me. So shout out to each of you for sharing those things with me. I'm excited because I know that we are literally on the countdown into a new year. I'm excited because the holidays, this is a season of love. This is a season of joy. It's a season of giving. And I'm excited because I know that in tonight's topic, there are going to be some things that I'm going to say that are probably going to be like, ooh, you're going to feel that one. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're definitely going to feel that one. Regardless of anything, I want you guys to know that, you have what it takes to make things happen. I don't care what anybody says to you. You have what it takes to make things happen. And so often in our lives, people, they down us. And I say us because I've heard people down me before. I've heard people tell me that I couldn't do it. I've heard people say that, this is going to happen. I've heard people say that's going to happen. I ain't got time for all that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is. You do you, I'll do me, and we're going to make this thing happen in our own ways. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just is what it is. You know what I mean? Like, I can't linger in somebody else's story of what my life should be. I can't linger in what somebody else thinks should happen with me in regard to what my future looks like, if it's not what I know God has been telling me is for me. Like even tonight, like I said, I've been dealing with this persisting headache, and I don't know why it started to go away, and then all of a sudden, right before I got on, I started to feel it again. And so y'all bear with me. Like, it's funny because you put something out there, you put it in the atmosphere, right? I put it in the atmosphere, finding the solution in the problem, and I've encountered all of these problems all at once. Can you believe that? Can you believe it? Hey, but we're going to go anyway. We're going to make this thing rock. We're going to make this thing ride. So what are some of the things that you guys have had going on in your lives where you've seen the problem, and there's a problem out there and you're trying to find the solution? What is it that you do? What are the things that you've experienced where there's problems that are happening in your life and you're trying to find the solution? Literally. Like, what are those things that have been going on? What are those things that have been happening? Like, what are they? Go ahead and drop them in the chat so I can share them with everybody. Blessings to you too. I see you, Ojali. So but it's one of those things where we have things that are happening in our lives. There's problems, and they're sticking around, and people are trying to figure out, how do we get past these problems that are sticking around? What are these things that are happening in your life that are the problems that you've been trying to find the solutions to? And I'm not just asking you to write these things down. I'm really asking you, and you don't have to share, but you can share if you like. I see people jumping in over here on Instagram. Where I got some news for y'all in just a second. But what are the problems? What are those problems? Let's see. Hold on, I got a text message that came in. My relationship with my boyfriend. Oh, that's a good one. Somebody texted me and said they're having problems with their relationship with their boyfriend. Okay, so the relationship with the boyfriend, what you have to ask yourself is, are you a part of the problem, or are you looking for and trying to be a part of the solution? I'm just gonna throw that out there for now. But let me write that down. She said relationship with boyfriend. Okay. All right. So relationship with boyfriend. I got that. So I'm gonna come back to that one. I got my girl Kia. She jumped over here on YouTube with me. She says allowing people to speak negatively into your life. Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one. I got something for that too. Let me write that down. I got something for that too. What else? What are some other problems? What are some other problems that we have that are out here? Things that people are saying or doing that you see a problem and you're trying to find the solution. What is it? What is it? Like, I know, I'll tell you right now, for me, the problem that I'm having is I feel like this headache is gone. I feel like it's going away, but then I realize, like, I'm sweating and I need to stop sweating. Solution, pick up something and wipe my face. How about that? Yeah. How about that? Showed y'all that was an active illustration right there. Your boy, hey, did that. But I'm asking these questions because I want us to go, okay, pushing past fear. Okay, here we go. Got some good ones coming in now. So we got my girl Kia, got another one in here. Pushing past fear. Okay, excellent. Then I got my girl Tasha Renee. She jumped in over here. What's up, T Renee? Being a procrastinator. Let me write this one down. We talked about that a while ago. I'm gonna write that one down. Being a procrastinator. Writing that one down, okay? And for those of you who are jumping in that don't know what the conversation is finding the solution inside the problem. And the question that I asked everybody was, what are the problems that they have that they're trying to find solutions to? And so I got people dropping those into the chat. So, okay, being a procrastinator, and the solution was found within the problem most definitely. Okay, I started using the time leading up to whatever is to be prepared. Awesome. And I'm gonna tell you another story to go with that one because I know you found your solution, but that's something I don't think that you are the only one who has dealt with that. So let me go ahead and finish writing that down. All right. All right. So with all of these things that we've listed, I think we got a pretty good list. Hold on, I think I got another message coming in here. Somebody sending me a text message to tell me what it is. Being late to work. Even when I leave on time, I'm still late to work. Let's write that down. All right. Man, these are some good things, y'all. These are some good things. I feel like people are looking for some answers tonight. How do I find the solution inside the problem? Oh, hold on. Got another message coming in. What does this one say? All right. Getting over hurt from past relationships and past people. All right. Listen, y'all. I respect the privacy. I see that, and I appreciate you still sending messages. Getting over the hurt. Add in church hurt. Okay. All right, I got you. All right, man. Whew. Oh, here's another one. We got Miss Wright jumping in here, balancing parenting, entrepreneurship, and personal goals. Man, that's good. You guys are coming with it tonight. That's what I'm talking about. I got another one. Making myself a priority. Okay. I got another one. This is for the person who texted. Okay. In a relationship. Okay, she got an answer for you. So I'm gonna read it because I pulled it up. This is for the person who texted Jarvis about the relationship. In their communication in your relationship with your boyfriend? If so, is there communication in your relationship with your boyfriend? If so, do you share how you are feeling and do you talk things through? That is a great question. Thank you so much for that. All right. So we have knowing your worth in relationships. Dang, these are all good. Good Lord. Whoo. Now, if I don't get to every single one, the answers that I'm going to give you are going to be for all of you. And I'm going to say this. I'm going to put this out here because I've had plenty of conversations and I've had plenty of people message me and I've had plenty of people text me and ask me things when it comes to some of the stuff that we have on the that I talk about. And there's people who have been like, man, are you talking about me? Is that about me? Listen, I'm gonna tell you, I do not have anybody in particular in mind when I'm talking. I'm really just flowing, just allowing God to use me. But I will tell you this: if it sounds like you and it hits home, that's not from me. That's from God to you, and you just need to check yourself on it. The shoe fits, wear it. That's all I can say. There's been quite a few of you guys who have reached out, and I'm okay with that. I'm definitely okay with that. I don't have any qualms or any issues with that at all. So you guys are definitely hitting on some things, and I'm getting ready to dive in now. Instagram, let me tell you this over here on Instagram, you guys will be with me for probably about another 5 minutes, so I don't want you to feel like you are not loved. You can jump in and join the conversation on Facebook or YouTube. Jump on Facebook, it's at Jarvis Henderson, at the original Jarvis. If you jump in on YouTube, Jarvis Henderson TV, that's all you got to do. All right, so let's dive in on this. This is going to be a great conversation. Finding the solutions inside the problem. Finding the solutions inside the problem. All of us are going to experience problems. I'm going to start it off like that. There's not one of us that are watching this, whether you're watching it live or watching it on a rebroadcast, there's not one of us who are going to, who's not going to experience problems. Problems are a part of life. Problems are one of those things where when they arise, we have the choice. We have the option on how we're going to react to them. I call it life punching you in the face. I call it life punching you in the gut. I call it life shaking you up a little bit. You know, they're going to happen. They're going to come. There's nothing that we can do about it. There's no perfect way to walk through this life. None whatsoever. And when I say there's no perfect way to walk through this life, none whatsoever, that means that you're not going to have the perfect life. All right. We were not designed to be perfect. There's only been one perfect person to ever walk the face of this earth. And that perfect person was Jesus Christ. Quite honestly, you know what I mean? And that's It could be a matter of opinion. I find it as fact. All right. And that's just something that I submit to each and every one of you. You're not perfect. You are perfectly imperfect the way that God had intended for you to be. You are who God has designed you to be. The problems that you run into, and this is where you have to try to start changing your thinking, is they're not really problems. They're not even really issues, right? They're situations that you have to figure out how to overcome them. And I'm going to explain what I mean by that. When I say they're not really problems, they're not really problems because they're designed, it's a tough time, right? It's a challenge, but you're forced to think about things a little bit differently. You're forced to move a little bit differently. You're forced to operate differently. You're forced to function differently. You don't really start, in some situations when they come up, you eat differently, right? You notice I call them situations because in those things that we call problems, those things that we call issues, it is an opportunity for you to groom yourself, for you to mature yourself, for you to sharpen your character, for you to sharpen your integrity. But we don't look at it like this. We look at it like, why is this happening to me? Right? That's one of the ways that we look at it. We look at it as, what in the world is going on? And why is this? Who did? We point the finger. It's always an outside of the body experience. Because of that person, I'm going through this. Because of that, I'm dealing with this. Because of that, I'm dealing with this. We can always choose how we react. We can always choose how we react. And how you react to what you may consider to be a problem, how you react to what you may consider to be a solution, is heavily influenced by the people that you keep around you. I'll say it again just so you can hear it and you can tag it into memory. How you react to what you call a problem, how you react to what you call an issue is heavily determined by the people that you keep around you, right? And you're probably like, well, what do you mean by that? Well, I'm gonna tell you a story. Like there's I don't know about you, but I love to eat crabs. Like I love them. You give me some snow crab, some Alaskan snow crab, some king crab, I'll eat it up. The only crabs I don't really like to eat that much are blue crabs because they're so small and I feel like I got to do too much work to get to it. But you give me the larger, just the woo, boy, my mouth is salivating right now. I can taste the butter. I can hear the cracking of the shell, all of it. But in order for them to actually catch those crabs, they have to, and it's pretty simple. They take a huge cage, right? They take this cage, they drop it into the water, they put a little bit of bait into it, and that bait that they put into it, they send it down to the bottom, like they just let it sit on the bottom of the ocean, just let it sit there, and the crabs start to crawl into it because they're coming after the bait. Now, when they get into the bait, there's nothing that's like the top of the cage is not enclosed. It's not enclosed. Like those crabs, if they wanted to, they could swim up and get up out of there. And if you've never seen a crab swim before, it's a funny thing to watch. It looks like a video game or a cartoon or something. But in essence, what happens is the crabs come in, they keep coming in, they can get out. I don't know if you've ever heard about the crab in the bucket theory. This is what happens on top of the water. When they're outside of the water and they're on land or they're sitting in a bucket on the boat, the crabs will try to climb out of the bucket, and the other crabs that are still in the bucket will reach up, grab them by their legs, and snatch them back down. Well, when they're under the water, it's a little bit more vicious than that. It's a little bit more vicious. These crabs, when they're in the water, when they try, like if they were to try to swim out of the cages that they're in, right? There's no top to the top of these cages, right? They're just collecting them in there. If they were to try to swim out of there, what happens is the crabs that are still in the cage that are towards the bottom reach up and grab them by their legs and they pull them down. Then if they continue and they persist to try to get up out of there, then what they do is the other crabs will snatch that crab back down into the cage and rip their claws off so that they can't get out. That is absolutely crazy to me. It is a culture of let me keep you at the bottom. It is a culture and a behavior of no, you're not going nowhere. If I'm not going up, you not going up. If I'm failing, you failing. You guys ever heard that saying, misery loves company? Have you? Because I've heard it. And I've seen it in people's lives. The people who are dealing with the most miserable things that they feel like are problems and issues in their life will come and they'll just be like, woe is me. And they're always throwing it on you because they're looking for something to come out of it that you're going to do for them. they, at that moment, whether they realize it or not, are operating in what's called the crab in a bucket theory. Another thing that happens, and I told you the story about the crabs at the bottom of the ocean when they're inside of the cages. I'm talking to you about, and I'm not even getting them out of the water yet. When they come out of the water, that same process is still there. They still operating in that. They are. And you know why we're able to eat crabs? Because they don't get out of the water when they feel the heat rising. They stay in the water and they die. So it's their bottom feeders, for one. Not only are they bottom feeders, but they want to keep everybody who call themselves a part of their crew at the bottom with them. Now, I told you that the way that you think is heavily influenced. The way that you respond to what you call a problem, the way that you respond to what you call an issue, is heavily influenced by those people who are in your circle, that are in your sphere of influence. So I want you to ask yourself, who are the people who are speaking into my life the most? Who are the people who are like, where how do they react? What habits have I picked up from them that have caused me to react to things the way that I react to things? What conversations have I had with them that are not allowing me mentally to move myself forward, physically to move myself forward? What did I hear so-and-so say to their man that I'm saying to my man that is not the way that I should be treating my man? What podcast, what TV show, what radio show did I listen to that told me how I was supposed to react? And now I'm reacting based off of the way that they told me that I was supposed to react, because I feel like that's the right way for me to react, because that's what they said. They're the professional and they know what they're talking about. Man, that'll preach all by itself. So when you guys are, when you're looking at your problems, what you call problems, or when you're looking at what you call, and you notice I keep saying what you call problems or what you call situations or issues. The reason I'm saying that is because I can't accept that there are problems. We face them, right? We definitely face them, and in facing them, we deal with them. But when I run into what most people would call a problem, I don't see it as a problem. I see it as an opportunity. When I run into what most people see as an issue, I don't see it as an issue. I see it as an opportunity. That's why I started calling them situations. If there's people that are close to me that are watching, you know that I'll say things like, man, in my situation currently right now, this is what's going on. Man, I'm thinking about how I'm going to handle this situation. So, man, this is, I don't know about y'all, but this is getting good. This is getting real good to me. So I have a little bit more that I'm going to dive into. And if you want to hear what I'm about to dive into, you need to stick around, because I'm about to go ahead and jump into the commercial for the Impact Rally. And then as soon as this commercial is over, we're jumping back into our conversation. Now, if you're over on Instagram, once this commercial is over, I love y'all, but y'all gonna be out ski. So you got to go ahead and catch the rest of the conversation. Finding the solutions inside of the problem. Catch it over on YouTube, Jarvis Henderson TV, or catch it over there on Facebook, The Original Jarvis. So we will see you over there. All right. Good night, IG. All right, IG is out of here, and you guys enjoy this commercial.
Hey, what are you waiting for? Go register for the Impact Rally now.
Yo, welcome back, everybody. It's your boy. You're back with me on Jarvis TV. We're about to get back into this conversation. I had to pick up my notebook and start looking at some of this stuff, man, because I'm just like I am so excited about the things that have the opportunity to happen. We were talking about, before I gave you the commercial break, we were talking about just the things that you have had that you call problems. And I was letting you guys know, I broke it down. Like, okay, I don't really call them problems. I call them situations that I'm dealing with. I see every single one of those things as an opportunity. Now, the reason I came up with this topic tonight, finding the solution inside of the problem, is because I'm looking at the fact that we have, what, 5-6 days left, literally 6 or 7 days, no, 6 days now, 6 days left till 2022 begins. We have 6 days left until 2022 begins. If you were anything like me, then you took the time to write down your goals. You took the time to write down your visions for the next year. And you're looking at it and you're thinking about what happened this past year, and you're trying not to repeat what happened just this past year. And in trying not to repeat what happened just this past year, there's some things that you're going to need to know. Now, before I go any further, I got somebody over here on the Wisdom app that's looking to join in the conversation. So I'm going to add them to the conversation. They have 5 minutes with me. And so let's see what they have to say. And as they're coming up, I want to let you guys know who it is. I want to say her name is Sahar Nafal, and she is here to translate judgment into love. I absolutely love it. Soul guidance mentor, channel and energy transmuter. Sorry, I got you. Let's get it. Let's have a conversation. I love it. I lost her. Well, hopefully I didn't lose her. I was trying to bring her up.
Hi,
Oh, there we go.
I'm right here.
Well, hello. How are you doing?
I'm doing absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing.
So did I pronounce your name correctly?
I love the topic, finding the solution inside of the problem.
Yeah, and can you tell us how to say it? Did I say your name right?
Oh, perfect. Sahar.
Oh, good. Well, there we go. So,
Yes.
Sahar, where are you from?
I am originally from the San Francisco Bay Area, but I live in Southern California now.
Okay.
But I'm originally from the Holy Land, a Palestinian.
Oh, wow. You know, I have to say this is my first time knowing that I am speaking with a Palestinian.
Yes.
So go ahead. Let's talk. I know you said that you love the topic. Let's talk
Yes.
about it.
So, when I first saw it, I am pretty active on Clubhouse, and I'm active here, and I do inspirational conversation, whatever's channeled through me. And when I read this, finding the solution inside of the problem, the thing that I want to share is, what if we find a solution so we won't have any problems?
That's good. Talk about it. That's good.
Think of that. Like, instead of us. So today I had my room on Clubhouse, and I asked people, what is it that you want to invite? And it was on rituals. What do you want to invite or upgrade a new ritual to your life?
Okay.
And what is it that you want to upgrade, and what is it that you want to invite a new ritual? And somebody said that they want to create an hour, and it's about them like not burning fires, like turning out fires, and for them to problem solving, right? 1
Okay.
hour a day.
All right.
I invited them to think, why don't we call that hour, instead of problem solving hour, is a power hour, to invite new opportunities, so there won't be any, we're not calling in the actual problems so we can solve them. So it's all about the way we perceive things, the way we reframe things, the way we say things, is how we can, avoid finding any solutions inside of a problem. Because if we say, how can we find a solution inside of a problem, we're saying to the universe, to God, whatever you want to call it, is like, hey, I want more problems so I can find solutions. But if we say that life is, all is well in my world, the universe or God has my back,
Yeah.
I don't have any challenges, life is with ease and grace. And so instead of saying, how can we find the solution inside of the problem, is, how can we live a life so we won't have any problems, and just have a life of ease and grace? Because what you believe, where your attention goes, your energy flows.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Where your attention goes, your energy flows.
Is not finding solutions for problems, but finding ways to not have problems, so we won't have solutions for those problems that we called in.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You're right on it. I feel like you kind of jumped all in and read all of my notes that I had written down.
Okay.
No, that's
Sorry
good.
about that.
No, there is no need to apologize because that is absolutely great. And I one of the things that I wanted to really jump in on really quickly is you said where your attention goes. Say that again so everybody can hear it.
Where your attention goes, your energy flows. Because everything is energy. Everything is energy.
That's good. Where your attention goes, your energy flows. So we have about a minute left with you as far as on the conversation. So do me a favor. My platform is your platform. Tell everybody how they can find you.
I'm here on Wisdom. I don't have anything planned, but I come up here spontaneously because I love this platform. I'm also, if you click on my link, you can see that I'm active on Instagram. I'm also active on Clubhouse. I have a room every Sunday called Soulful Sunday. And then I also have a room where I do channeling and energy clearing, which is so important right now for humanity, on Tuesday evenings at 6:30 p.m. Pacific.
Okay.
6:30 p.m. So that's how you find me.
Okay.
I'm active on Clubhouse. Yeah.
So for those of you who are on the East Coast, if she does 6:30 p.m. Pacific time, that is 9:30 on the East Coast.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Well, I have absolutely enjoyed, and it's So tell them your Instagram handle.
It's Sahar Nafal.
Sahar Nafal, everybody.
Thank you so much for the opportunity, Jarvis. You're amazing.
Very welcome.
Doing the work that you're doing. Blessings to all, and happy holidays, everyone.
Yes, thank you so much, Sahar. So that was Miss Sahar Nafal. I have another guest that is waiting to come in. I just want to comment on something that she said really quickly before we go any further. That was very powerful. What she said, where your attention goes, your energy flows, and that literally is pretty much like a punchline of what we're talking about tonight, finding the solution inside of the problem. She mentioned, what if we set it up to where we didn't look at the problems or we didn't focus on those things? And that is so true. All those things are great and all of those things are true. And I agree with what she was saying. So what I want to do is I want to go ahead and I want to bring in this next guest that's over here. For those of you who are on Facebook and YouTube, there's actually a link that I just posted in there for you to be able to join in on the conversation if you'd like to join in on the conversation. And I'm probably going to take a couple more people. And after I take a couple more people, once I take a couple more people, I'm going to give you guys some great keys to take away with you tonight. And then you're going to have to come back and get the rest tomorrow evening. So let's go ahead and bring up our next guest. It looks like the name is Sabrine. Sabrine, open to new ideas and sharing their acknowledgments of wisdom and experiences. Let's go ahead. Let's bring up Sabrine. Sabrine is coming in. There's a countdown that comes in, and let's see what Sabrine has to talk about. And you guys feel free to ask questions. Feel free to join in. Sabrine, how are you doing? Uh-oh, looks like you're muted on me. All right, hello, you there? Do I got you, Sabrine? Oh, we can't hear. I don't know if they're still there or not. So let me see something here. Sabrina, I'm going to go ahead and remove you for now, but just go ahead and request to come back up if you once you get everything situated. So I had to drop him off. Dang, he or she, I'm not sure who it was, but listen, y'all, that was some good stuff that Sahar was talking about. That was like some really good stuff. And I want to go back and I want to start hitting on some of these things that you guys were talking about. So the first thing that I remember from what I wrote down was a situation with the boyfriend. And remember what I said, solution instead of a problem, solution instead of a problem, finding the solution inside of the problem. So if we're looking at that situation with the boyfriend, girlfriend, Marsha, she mentioned and she asked the question, is she sharing her feelings? I want to challenge you guys to do this. A lot of us, when we listen, and I've said this a few times, we listen in conversations waiting to rebuttal. So you can have conversations with your spouse, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your husband, your wife, whatever your situation is. You can have conversations with them. You can tell them how you feel and you can let them tell you how they feel. You can talk about your emotions. You can talk about your dreams. You can talk about your aspirations. You can talk about the direction of the family. You can talk about the direction of the house. You can talk about the direction of the relationship. But if you are not actually listening, then there's a problem. You have to ask yourself, are you utilizing reflexive listening? Or are you really listening? You have to sit in your seat with a posture to receive when you're in any conversation. You have to listen. If you don't listen, then there's a problem. Let me help you guys out with this. Doctors. It is said that doctors, it's kind of studied out a little bit, but they say that doctors don't listen enough. I don't remember the exact percentage. I don't want to throw a percentage because I don't want to put it out there. And then y'all come back to me like, that wasn't a percentage, but it's a high percentage of doctors that don't listen enough. As a matter of fact, what happens is as a patient is sitting there and they're talking to the doctor hears 2 or 3 things that this person says, cuts them off and gives them a diagnosis, which leads to a large number of people who end up dying from being misdiagnosed. Why? Because the doctor didn't listen all the way through to hear what all of the symptoms are. How many times have you gone to the doctor? How many times have you gone to get a checkup and you're telling the doctor, man, look, doc, this is what's going on with me, boom, 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 and they give you a diagnosis. You go home, you're taking the medicine for whatever they diagnose you with, and then you're still feeling sick, so you go back to the doctor. They say, oh, it wasn't that, it's this. And then you go back again. Oh, it wasn't that, it's this. Why? Because what they're doing is they're giving an educated guess based off of what they believe it to be, but are they really listening to you in the moment when you're trying to explain to them what's going on with you? Are they paying attention to that? Are they hearing you? Now, I love doctors. I believe that doctors are necessary. I believe that doctors are individuals who God has absolutely blessed us with on this earth to help us with the things that we couldn't do on our own when it comes to our personal fitness, our personal health, correcting things as far as broken bones, dealing with whatever we have going on out here, right? Right now we're in the middle of year 2 of a global pandemic, dealing with different variants of this virus that's running around here, and we're listening to doctors, right? Hopefully they're listening to us. The only reason I'm utilizing the doctors, right? The only reason I'm utilizing the doctors is because I want you to know, like, that's such an important role. Now let's go back and let's say, as parents, are we actually listening to our children, or are we just hearing them out so that they can get it off their chest, and then once they get it off their chest, we just move forward? If we take the time to sit and really listen to our children, and it doesn't matter at what age they're at. I know sometimes we as parents can, and it's funny. I think that sometimes, and I watch parents, and I'm connecting with y'all. I'm relating with y'all. I feel like sometimes what happens as parents, what we look at it, let a child speak, and then as they're speaking, it's like, well, you don't know what I do. You're right. They don't know what you do. So have the conversation and try to help them understand at the level that they're at. I remember, man, this was like years ago. It was probably like back in like 2010, 2011. I was a youth pastor down in Florida. And I remember I was sitting with a family, and the son actually came to me and said, hey, would you be willing to sit down and talk with me and my parents? Because if we don't talk, something's going to happen. And he wasn't threatening anything crazy. We come in, and I say, yes, man, I'll sit with them. Let's make sure that they're okay with it. Husband comes to me, hey, man, would you be willing to sit with me and my family? I said, yeah, man, let's have a talk. So we sit down. This conversation, I kid you not, lasted about 3 hours. About 3 hours. And what I realized in the first 20 minutes of our conversation, matter of fact, the first 15 minutes of our conversation, because I gave everybody 5 minutes to start off and communicate, is that nobody was listening to what the other person was saying. Everybody wanted to be heard, but nobody wanted to listen. In that conversation, and yes, the conversation literally took about 3 hours, I had to sit and listen to each part of each story and then help everybody see where everybody was coming from and then break it down. See, like when you're coaching, like 90% of what you do as a coach is you sit and you listen. Because you see people and they have these situations that are going on, and you actually see the whole picture because they're explaining it to you, and you're looking at the solution, and it's right there in the middle of what they're facing, and right there in the middle of what they're dealing with. And it's simple. But in that situation, the simplicity of just listening to each other. At some point, I told them all, I said, you know that you guys are all saying the same thing? You are. You're saying it in your language, you're saying it in your language, and you're saying it in your language. Now, as the son, he identified it and he said, I just want to be heard. And it wasn't even that he felt like he was right in the things that he had did. He just felt like he didn't have the opportunity to be heard. Like his parents weren't listening to him. The family wasn't paying attention to the things that were happening in his life. And that's not a good space for any child to be, right? So when you're looking at it, you know, and you sit down and you talk with your children, it's like once they actually started communicating, things were smooth. They were butter, 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 butter. I told each of them, I said, every once in a while, what you want to challenge yourself to do is just accept what the other person is saying. Whether you feel like they're wrong or you agree with them, just accept it every once in a while. And I guarantee you that if they're wrong, they're going to come back and tell you that they're wrong. And if they don't come back and tell you that they're wrong, then they're dealing with a pride issue, and that's a whole nother conversation in itself. But when you have the opportunity to sit with your spouse, when you have the opportunity to sit with your children, when you have the opportunity to sit with your loved ones, sit and listen and just receive what they're saying. Paint the picture on the canvas of your imagination of what they're saying to you and how they're feeling and what they're going through. Allow them to be a communicator to you and you to be a receiver, and you just sit there and bring it in. Even if you don't agree with it. I have found that in any conversation where I've sat down, if I ever felt like there was a disagreement between me and someone else, I try to go back and make sure that there's an opportunity to sit and have a conversation. And in those conversations, what I have found every single time to be 100% true is that we just didn't perceive each other the right way. I had one thought and one perception, which drew a perspective, and they had another thought and a perception, which drew a perspective. And whatever we see as our perspective, we see to be true. So now you have conflicting perspectives, which is creating an issue. And if you allow it to be open and you allow yourselves to communicate with each other and you sit and you listen to receive, now when you're talking to, and let's go back to the boyfriend, girlfriend, wife, husband, when you're talking to that person that you're in love with, that person that you're spending your time with, and you're sharing your emotions, what if you just stop for a minute and said, okay, how do you feel? And now here's where it gets kind of tricky. Sometimes they can tell you how you feel and you'll get into offense. I will tell you this: offense, you jump into offense. Offense is a choice. You can choose to be offended or you can choose not to be offended. How do you choose not to be offended? You predetermined you predetermine it in your thought process when you go into this conversation that there's nothing that this person is going to say to me that is going to push me over the edge. I am going to listen. Predetermine it. Go in prepared. That's how you prepare to have a great conversation. I'm going to listen to who I'm sitting with. They may say something that will blow your mind. So you sit with them and you talk with them. A lot of times when it comes into relationship problems, when it comes into relationship issues, and that's what people call them, so that's what I'm calling them right now, relationship situations, the issue is you. And it may not be that you're doing anything wrong. It could just be that you're not listening. It could just be that you're not present. It could just be that when the time is there, that your focus is in other places. It could be all kinds of things that are contributing to how this other person is feeling, but you won't know unless you allow yourself to sit in a seat with a posture of let me listen and receive what you're saying, as opposed to sitting in a seat with a posture of let me try to rebuttal. Let me look for the trigger word that's, you said that. Okay, let me take notes. Let me write that down. Let me go back and get it. No, y'all. Relationships are so amazing. Relationships are beautiful. Relationships are necessary. I mean, shoot, even God said that it's not good that man should be alone. It's in the Bible. It says it. None of us like to be alone. We may like our alone time, but none of us like to be alone. So when it comes to that, part of the solution that's inside of the problem, that shouldn't even be a problem, is communication, but it's great communication. It's listening back and forth. It's paying attention to each other. It's embracing the feelings and the thoughts of the other person. Whenever a person tells you how they feel, never disregard how they feel, because it's how they feel. What I've learned is if you are having continual conversations on feelings and you're having continual conversations on just like not agreeing, not being in agreement on certain things, it's you learning the other person's language. We all have a love language. I know that there's books out there that say the 5 love languages. That's great because that points out 5 major things, but we all speak a different language and we have to learn each other's language. for you and your boyfriend, you and your girlfriend, you and your husband, you and your wife. You have to learn what the language is that they're speaking to you, because if you can learn their language, then they're going to start to speak your language. And if you have two people who are determined that they're going to learn each other's language, could you imagine what that would look like, what that would turn into? Could you imagine how many problems and how many issues would not be problems and issues anymore? Could you imagine how those things, I'm just like mind blown. Could you imagine how many things that would go right that people would expect to go wrong? Think about what Sahar said. She said, and I wrote it down, where your attention goes, your energy flows. So if you put your attention into giving 100% of yourself to that person, expecting nothing in return, then I guarantee you at some point they're going to flip that and they're going to reciprocate that back to you. Communication, y'all. Man, what was the other thing? Let me look over here. And I'm just going to tap on a few of these. I'm not going to try to give you all the answers to all of them because I am not the professional, but I'm the professional. I just want y'all to know that. Man, this was good. Allowing people to speak negatively into your life. If you look at that crabs in the bucket conversation that I just had, that definitely hits on that one. Making myself a priority. Listen, if you don't take care of you, how are you going to take care of anybody else? And I know that sometimes we can, as especially like somebody like myself, like I know in my heart that I'm here for everybody else. I know that I do things for people because I am compelled out of God's love in my heart for the world to say, hey, this is what I'm going to do. This is how I'm going to handle it. I stand and I sit with a posture of, I got it. I can do it. I'm with you. Let me support you. How can I do this? How can I help you through this right now? How can I support you in what you're going through right now? Some people are trained to ask that question, but there's other people who genuinely, no matter what, that's just their thought process. How can I serve you? How can I take you to the next level? How can I contribute to what you got going on? And if you're that type of a person, you have to be intentional about taking time out for yourself. And what I mean by being intentional, when I was working for Hertz, I intentionally every month took one weekend, 3 days, where I would get away and just focus on just me. Call it self-care, call it mental health awareness. I don't care what you call it, but I would do that every single month. And sometimes I wouldn't even go anywhere. Sometimes I would just be at the house and just chill at the house for the weekend, not answer my phone, not do anything, because I needed a break from everything else, because I needed the time to sit and just kind of meditate and pray and just like, okay, God, and just relax and enjoy. And, you can't catch up on rest, but I would rest and sleep and watch movies. And, I would have fun, just be there just by myself, and you can do that with somebody else and you're still taking care of yourself. Those things are necessary. Those things are there. It's a positive thing when those types of things happen. So making yourself a priority, you are always the first you are always the first priority. You should always be the first priority, meaning like, are your limbs and everything, like, are you okay with everything that you have to offer the world? Once you know that you're okay with everything you have to offer the world, then you can go and be a part of the world. But the minute you start to feel angst over somebody else's situation, you got to pull yourself back and draw yourself back just a little bit and ask yourself, why are you feeling the angst? There's some times where emotionally my heart will be broken for somebody else's situation. And the reason why my heart is broken for somebody else's situation is not because I have to fix their problem, but it's because I love people so much that it hurts my heart that they have to deal with that they have to go through that. I may not have the answer. And I've definitely come to the conclusion that I'm not always going to have the answer. I am not the source of anybody's solution. I am the resource that God is going to use to make an impact in their life and take them to the next level. Whether you believe in God or not, universe, whatever, I don't care. The resource, and I'll say it like this because I am a man of faith, that God is going to use to take their life to the next level. When I'm coming out here and I'm doing these lives, if you hear something that has really touched you and you're like, yo, this is, oh my gosh, like that's great, that's for me, that's because I am the resource that God is using to help take you to the next level. And every single time that I finish a live, every time before I get on a live, I pray. And I'm just like, God, decrease me 100%. You speak through me. Let me say the things that are going to reach and touch the people that are out here that are going to help impact and change their lives. Every time before I step onto a stage, I pray. Every single time. Every time I step off of the stage, whether I feel like it was great or not. God, thank you for that opportunity. Thank you, because I know somebody was impacted. Somebody's life changed. When I get off these lives, man, God, thank you for that. I go back and I listen to these things. And when I go back and I listen to these things, I'm like, yo, that was great. I'm listening to these as if I'm not even the one that's speaking. I listen to them because I know that it's impacting my life. So for you, you are destined for something greater than what you could ever imagine. So you have to make sure that you are okay before you can go out and make sure that everybody else is okay. And it's okay to move and operate while you're still functioning through things. Like, I started off and I had a headache. So as I was operating and moving through, the headache went away. I stopped sweating. I stopped, those things. I knew that was going to happen. Got some great doctoral advice, and it worked. All right. So, man, you guys have some great stuff. Okay. So balancing parenting, entrepreneurship, and personal goals. Yo, that right there, that speaks life. Let me tell you this. Because if you're balancing those three things, one, you are a super mom. You are amazing. You are the type of mother that makes the world spin. That's what my mom was. That's how I became who I am. And that balance comes in not managing your time. Time is not something that we can manage. People will say time management all day long. It's not about managing the time. And this goes to the person that's also over here talking about they're late for work all the time. We're going to hit on that too. But don't worry about managing the time. Worry about managing the priorities and the time that's given to us. Each and every one of us will have 1,440 minutes in every single day. You can account for each one of those minutes. Each and every one of us will have 24 hours in a day, just to make it easier for y'all. Some of y'all operate by hours and not minutes. It's okay. It's just to make sure that time will always be time. There will always be 24 hours in the day. There will always be 1,440 minutes in the day. There's always going to be 60 minutes in an hour, 60 seconds in a minute. There's always going to be 10 seconds in 10 seconds. That's not going to change. But what you do for that hour, what you do for that 1,440 minutes, those things can change. Those are the things that you can prioritize. And in my personal opinion, I feel like when it comes to family, it's always family first. Family first. And when I say family first, I'm not talking about anybody outside your house. Aunts, uncles, cousins, sisters, brothers, nobody like that. Mom, dad. I'm not talking about any of that unless you live in the house with your mom and your dad. What I'm talking about when I say family first is husband, wife, children. That is your first priority. That should be number one at all times. Now, everything else is going to line itself up to be able to support the first priority. When it comes to those, and especially you as it says parenting, so you, Miss Wright, Miss Kalisha Wright, as a single mother with your children, what that does for you is now everything that you do is focused at providing for your children. Everything that you do is focused at just loving your children. But then you're going to have to, and if you don't already do this, definitely make sure that you do. And this is for every single parent that's out here, and married parent that's out here that's watching this. What you're going to have to do is you're going to have to follow your children's lives. Don't be the helicopter parent, but look at their lives. Communicate with them, sit and talk with them, sit and listen to receive what they're saying to you, because they're going to share with you. Now, there's certain things that your kids are going to say to you, and you're going to be like, well, because think about it. Think about when we were kids, there are things that our parents said to us. We're like, what in the world is she saying? What in the world? They don't know what I'm dealing with. They don't know what I'm going through. And then here we are adults, and we realize, yes, our parents knew what we were dealing with. And yes, they knew what we were going through. They may not have known how to communicate with us, but we have the opportunity to know exactly how to communicate with our children. And as we communicate with our children, part of us communicating with our children is allowing them to be heard, not making it okay for them to be disrespectful. There's a difference. Allowing your children to be heard means that you set up a space and a time, and I recommend doing family meetings where you just sit down. And when you sit down in these family meetings, you can ask the question. You can say, hey, so, tell me, what are 3 things that you really liked about this last week that mommy, daddy did? Boom, they tell you. What are 3 things that you didn't like this last week that mommy and daddy did? It's okay. This is a space for you to talk. What are things that you would like to see me do differently? What are some of the things why do you feel the way that you feel? When they're telling you how they feel, ask them why they feel the way that they feel. They may be upset just because their feelings were hurt. Okay, you don't disregard that their feelings were hurt, but you would let them know, like, hey, sweetheart, son, my young king, my young queen, sometimes I'm going to say things to you that are going to hurt your feelings. And it's not that I'm intending to hurt your feelings, but I would rather you get disciplined by me and your feelings be hurt than to get out here into the world and the world discipline you and I don't get to see you no more. Because the world's discipline is much different than my discipline. I discipline you because I love you. Out there, they're going to discipline you just because they feel like they want to. Have conversations, heartfelt conversations. Spend time, laugh, joke, make memories, play, dance, play video games, play Monopoly, play Uno, play spoons, play something, do something. You know what I'm saying? Like, like spend time with them. So that's, and I think that, when it comes down to it, managing the priorities in the time that you have throughout the day is definitely a step. And that's really, you have the solution. You are the solution, because you, as an entrepreneur, as a parent, as a professional, and balancing your personal goals and all those things, you have control over what you put in the time slots that you have in your life. And as long as you can remember that you have that control, then you're winning. You're absolutely winning. So that must have been for somebody. So that was really great. So let's go on really quickly. Knowing your worth in relationships, man, you are valuable. You are absolutely valuable. So when I say that you are absolutely valuable, I want to make sure that I go ahead and give you balance to that. Any relationship that you're in, you are valuable enough that you allow yourself to be heard, but you also are strong enough to sit and listen. And in that situation, in knowing your worth, like there's so many different directions that we can go into. So I don't want to dive too deep into it, but I want you to know that you have control over the things that you do and you don't do within a relationship. You have the control over the things that you're willing to accept and what you're not willing to accept in a relationship. And when you run into those things that you're not willing to accept, you have to ask yourself, okay, why do these things keep coming up? And when you ask yourself those questions, have that conversation with the person that you're with. Just say, hey, and don't let it be an intense conversation, and let it be something where you're sitting and it's like, you're sitting to listen, to receive. You just want to know, you just want to understand. Remember what I said, you're gaining understanding of each other. You are gaining understanding of each other. All right. And so I didn't want to stay on that one too long, but in knowing your worth in relationships, that's actually something. I wrote that down. We got to make that a topic, because that one can go like super, super deep, super duper deep. And we're going to get there. Because I want to make sure that I give you just a couple things to go on with it. Matter of fact, dang, you know what? Wow, this is good. I'll tell you what. This is one of those topics that we're going to have to come back together again tomorrow. Yep. I know. It's Jarvis TV, and I can run it and I can keep going. But I feel like if I dive in on another one of these topics, or another one of the things that somebody has put, then we will go like super deep. We will go super deep. I have about a minute left. Let me read this really quick. Marcia says, I disagree that family comes first. If family comes first, then where does God come in? Oh, that's good. Okay, let me read this out loud. All right, so let me give this balance really quick, and then everything else you're gonna have to tune in tomorrow to get the rest of it, y'all. Okay, so it says, Marcia says that, she says, I disagree that family comes first. If family comes first, then where does God come in? Is he second, third, last? No, God comes first in a believer's life, because if you don't put God first, nothing will go right or fall into place. Things will be chaotic. God first always. Okay, so I agree with you, Marcia. I do. I agree with you. And let me go ahead and take this next 30 seconds really quickly to give a little bit of balance. And then everybody, we're going to have to tune in with me tomorrow. Matter of fact, what I need you to do is, as I'm saying this, if you're over here and you're tuned in, go ahead and drop in the box what we listen to something from the 90s. So I need you to give me a 90s song that we can rock out to on the way out of here. So drop that in the chat box while I talk about this. In my life, Marcia, God always comes first. Absolutely. Always. And if I'm talking to the believers that are out here that are watching this, we know that in the Bible it says that the greatest command of all is to love the Lord your God with all your heart, all your mind, all your strength. It also says that the second is just as important as the first. Love your neighbor as yourself. Now, keeping God first as a first priority, that is a personal thing between you and God. That is your first priority. When it comes to the priorities of the world, the things that are of a natural tendency, the things that you have that you can touch tangibly, your family needs to be first. So in balancing that out, in balancing that out, all right, y'all ready? In balancing that out, you have to know that your personal relationship with God, yes, that's going to always be first. But what God is not telling you to do is he's not telling you to stay in the closet with him all day, every day and disregard your family, because disregarding your family, not spending time with your family, not doing for your family, you might as well be disrespecting God, because God blessed you with that family. God blessed you with that spouse. God blessed you with those children. Yes, God first. Don't get God first mixed up with ministry first, because there's those people who are going to watch this who may know people who serve in ministry. If you put ministry before your family, then you're doing God a disservice. You basically being hypocritical. God first does not mean ministry first. And your God first time is the time that you spend with God personally. So yes, Marsha, I do agree with you. But to give balance, I'm still going to stand on your family should be your first priority. And in your family being your first priority, God is a part of your family. God should always be a part of your family. All right. So, I got this. All right. So that's what we got for tonight. If you want to tune in tomorrow, we're going to carry on finding the solution inside the problem. Part two. All right. Part 2 tomorrow night. We'll be on here. And I'm going to make sure that you text your boy so I can let you know what time we're going to be on here. We're going to be on here. Let me go ahead and pull this up for us. We're going to listen to I Like by Guy on the way out. I'm loving it. That's going to be our outro. So I hope that y'all ready, because I'm ready. Dang. Taking it way back in the time. All right, here we go. So, Wisdom app, I'm so grateful for you all to be here. Again, I want to invite everybody to come and join us at the Impact Rally 2022. You can go ahead and register for that at jarvishenderson.com. If you want to get an additional discounted rate on an early bird ticket, you want to go ahead and text IMPACT to 386-200-1394. Also, for everybody who's on here, join the community. Come on, jump in with me. Be able to communicate with me whenever you would like to communicate with me on one-on-one, ask me questions, be a part of my topics and what I choose to do. Matter of fact, be a part of what I choose to wear, how I choose to cut my hair, what we should do with the logo. Be a part of all that stuff. Join the community. Text IMPACT to 386-200-1394. And here we go. We listening to Guy. Boom, boom. And here we go. We about to take it out. I hope that y'all ready. I'm ready. And in this outro, you guys have a wonderful evening. I'll see you guys tomorrow night. Yeah. Take it back, y'all, to the 90s. Woo! All right. We going out to I Like, man. Y'all have a wonderful evening. I absolutely love you and love the Lord. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow night. Let's continue the conversation. Feel free to shoot me any messages and text and connect. We'll have a great evening, and I'll talk to you all later. Peace.